What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Listen, I almost got stuck with that load going to Queens, New York and Bergen, New Jersey yesterday, but I picked up one today at the Pittston yard that was going to Walton, Kentucky. It's about 600 miles away, and really didn't have a lot of time to get there. No matter how you broke that up, it was going to put you kind of in a tight situation. So I know if you happen to be watching this and you're thinking about getting into trucking, or maybe you're in PSD training or TNT training, and you hear people saying, I can run it at 58 miles an hour. I run at 55 miles an hour. You know what? You cannot run this load at 55 miles an hour. You can't run it at 58 miles an hour. I did the math on it. Listen, I'm coming out of Pennsylvania. Okay, so you got all these mountains and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to get kind of held up by that. Even if you let it run, which I did, down some of these mountains, you're still going to be running a little bit short on these hours. If you calculate this load out at 58 miles an hour, you have 28 minutes to spare. Now, we're going to be rolling into Kentucky at about 8 in the morning, rush hour traffic. It's not going to work. So what I'm going to do, and really doesn't change things much at all, is I'm going to do a 8-2 split. So when my hours come back in 8 hours, I'm going to have 7 hours and 26 minutes to run this last remaining about 400 hours, I think, or 400 miles. The other option would be to get the full 10 and then go that route. But no matter how you cut it, 58 miles an hour is not going to work on this load. No matter what anybody tells you, no matter what any speed, none of that stuff. Listen, sometimes you just got to run. And I understand that, this has nothing to do with safety. This has to do with people saying that, loads are calculated at 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour, 45, whatever the miles an hour they think the loads are calculated at. Sometimes you just got to get out and run. Now, I prefer to run anyway, because to me, if I have 30 extra minutes at night to find a place to park, I'd rather just go ahead and run 65-ish, something like that, so I have more time to find a place to park. But listen, I'm not saying that you need to run 65 miles an hour all the time. What I'm telling you is that when those times arise that you can't drive 55 and 58, sometimes you got to just get out and run. And this is one of those loads right here. So I'm calculating it out, and I was driving. First I got the load, right? So I was like, okay, I could run this in one run, and it was 600 miles, 597 miles. I could run it in one run and get it there. Now, the problem is I'm in Pennsylvania right now. So if I was to run this in one run, I would have to start at 9 p.m. tonight and basically get there at 9 a.m. in the morning with all these mountains, rush hour traffic, all that stuff. So what I decided to do was break this up into 2 runs. So I got out about 4 hours today, about 200 miles, shut down, and then either take 8 hours to get that 8-2 split, or 10 hours to get the full 11. The problem with the 11 is then it leaves a little over 7 hours to get, just a little over 7 hours to get there on time. And then if you look at the 8-2 split, it's the same thing, where with the 8-2 split, I have 7 hours and 26 minutes before my time runs out. So no matter how you cut it, it's going to be short either way. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the 8-2 split. I'll get out there running and gunning. I figure if I can get through most of this stuff early in the morning, there's going to be less traffic, easier for me to get there. But listen, if anybody's telling you that that you could just always run at a 58 or 55 miles an hour and get where you need to go, that ain't happening. It's not happening on this load. If you calculate the miles, it's impossible to do it like that. So, you know what? Listen, I don't know what these dispatchers look at when they dispatch certain loads, but I have to assume, because I've seen them. There have been multiple loads I've taken that running at 58 miles an hour would not do it. So I have to assume that they're looking at their fleet and seeing who runs at what pace or whatever, and then throwing those loads on them. So anyway, that's all I got to say about this. So I'm going to lose a little bit, maybe, in fuel mileage, which, that's another topic. I'm going to do another video on that. I think people are too stuck on the miles as they are the terrain, the weight, different things like that, as opposed to what the actual speed is. Because I tried to run 58 miles an hour. I tried to run 60 miles. Well, let me stop lying. I tried to run 60 miles an hour. Never tried to run 58, because that's, you can't even keep it between the lines going that slow. But I've tried to run slower, and what I've noticed is my fuel mileage did not decrease based on that difference between 60 and 65 based on my speed as much as it did the terrain. Wind seems to be the biggest one. Wind, and then wind, weight, whether it was a straight line or there were curves, things like that. But really, I think that there are people out there telling you that you can run at 58, 55 and do all this stuff, and this ain't one of those loads. And I do think that even if it is the case where you can do that, if I was to run this load that slow, I would be leaving myself no time to pick up another load right off the bat when I get out of there. At least get to there. At least with, 8 hours? So let's say I have an hour to go pick up another load. There have been several loads where I was able to get to that next load, shut down, and then pull that load forward. Whereas if I was running 55 or 58, I wouldn't even have had a chance to get to that next load. So take it for what you want it. I'm just a rookie driver. Listen, I don't know anything. I'm just trying to share with you kind of what I'm going through. As a matter of fact, just last week, or maybe 5 days, 6 days ago, I was trying to hit this specific truck stop to leave me with enough hours to have my dispatcher, I just wanted to have something to work with. I got to that truck stop with 6 minutes left on my clock. Had I not got there with 6 minutes left on my clock, I would have probably had to stop about 45 minutes to an hour earlier to not run over my hours. So there's times to run slow, there's times to run fast. To me, I'd rather run a little bit faster and have a little bit more time to search for parking, a little bit more time to pick up another load, a little bit more time to not stress about a bunch of stuff. So I'm not saying my way is right. As a matter of fact, I'm probably saying my way is wrong, because I am a rookie truck driver, but these are just things that I notice out on the road. So don't take my advice. Just listen to why I do what I do. I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.